So for graphing this one, we start by graphing the parabola as if it was just y equals 3x squared minus 4. First thing you're going to ask yourself, is this one in standard form? Is it in this form so that I could graph it quickly and easily? Can you tell what the vertex is? What is the vertex of this one? 0, -4. It is in this form. It's hard to see because there's no number inside that x squared. But you could imagine this like this. Right? That means the same thing if it was x minus 0. But sometimes it's a little bit harder to see when it's just x squared. So we know that our vertex is 0, -4. So when we go to graph this one, we have 0, -4 as one of our points. Now, how would I find another point? Because your a value is 3, what are you going to do? You're going to go over 1 up 3. So you'd have the point 1, -1. Or over 1 up 3 this way, and you would have -1, -1. Then you would go over 1 up. If you went over 1 up 3 the first time, the next time you would go over 1 up 9. So over 1 up 9 would give you 2, 8 as a point. Now you're going to be tempted to draw your parabola right away. Hesitate just a bit with inequalities because we have to decide, is it going to be a solid line or a dotted line? This one, because it's just less than, draw a dotted line. The last thing we do when graphing an inequality is shade the area which is represented by y is less than 3x squared minus 4. Again, you could do a test point because it's either going to be inside this parabola or it's going to be outside of the parabola. Or you could look at what does less than mean. Does that mean I shade above or do I shade below? Okay? So less than means shade below, and if you take any point and shade below it, you'd find out, oh, I've got to shade the outside part here. Because if I take any point like that vertex and go down from there, I would be shading below. If you decided to use a test point, maybe you like using 0, 0 as a test point. If you plug in 0 for y and 0 for x, your equation would become 0 is less than 0 minus 4. Is 0 less than -4? No. So that tells you that the inside is not part of the solution, and it would have to be the outside or what's below the parabola. Now, I like to talk about things being above and below because what's inside and outside can change whether the parabola is going up or going down, but shading above or below always stays the same. So when we're talking about shading below, you can take any point. Let's say I take this 2, 8. And if I'm shading below, that's this part down here. Because that would be taking that point and going down would be shading below. I don't like the way that blue looks. There we go. That looks prettier with green crayon. So the idea is the same kind of graphing stuff that we've been doing. The only thing new that we're adding here is the shading part and whether we draw a dotted line or a solid line, which is exactly the same as what we did yesterday when we did lines. So it's not really that much new. But if you're not strong with your graphing parabolas, then this just gets you to practice it some more. So questions you can do for practice. 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, and 11.